The United States Agency for International Development, or USAID, is a big player in the world of international aid. Established in 1961 by President John F. Kennedy, USAID has been at the forefront of humanitarian efforts for decades. Its mission is to promote global development and provide assistance to countries in need. This independent agency works directly with the U.S. government. It collaborates with various departments and organizations to ensure that aid reaches those who need it most. By working closely with the government, USAID can leverage resources and expertise to maximize its impact. Its mission is to help people in developing countries. These regions often face challenges such as poverty, lack of education, and inadequate healthcare. USAID steps in to provide support and create opportunities for sustainable development. They provide things like food, water, and medicine. In times of crisis such as natural disasters or conflicts, USAID is often one of the first organizations to respond, delivering essential supplies to affected communities. They also help build schools and hospitals. Education and healthcare are critical components of development, and USAID invests in infrastructure to ensure that communities have access to these vital services. Essentially, USAID tries to make life better for those in need. Their programs aim to improve living conditions, promote economic growth, and foster resilience in vulnerable populations. USAID has offices all over the world. These offices are strategically located to address the unique needs of each region, allowing USAID to tailor its programs and interventions effectively. These offices help them work directly with local communities. By engaging with local leaders and organizations, USAID ensures that its efforts are culturally sensitive and community-driven. The agency's headquarters is in Washington, D.C. From this central location, USAID coordinates its global operations and develops strategies to address emerging challenges. This central location allows USAID to coordinate with other government agencies. Collaboration is key to the agency's success, enabling it to draw on a wide range of expertise and resources. For many years, USAID has been a symbol of American generosity. Its work reflects the values of compassion and solidarity, showing the world that the United States is committed to helping those in need. They have helped countless people in times of crisis, whether it's responding to a devastating earthquake or providing aid during a pandemic. USAID's efforts have saved lives and alleviated suffering. Their work has made a real difference in the lives of millions. By addressing immediate needs and supporting long-term development, USAID continues to be a beacon of hope for communities around the world. On February 3, 2025, news broke that USAID was closing its Washington, D.C. office. This unexpected announcement surprised many people. The closure raised questions about the future of the agency. It also sparked concerns about potential changes in U.S. foreign policy. The official reason for the closure has yet to be clearly stated. Some speculate it might be for budgetary reasons, others believe it could be part of a larger restructuring plan. However, the timing of the closure has fueled even more speculation. This sudden closure has left many wondering about the agency's direction. It has also opened the door for critics to voice their concerns more loudly. Elon Musk, the billionaire entrepreneur behind Tesla and SpaceX, has been a vocal critic of USAID. Musk has accused the agency of being involved in botched elections and spreading disinformation. These are serious accusations that deserve a closer look. Musk has not yet provided specific details to support his claims. He hasn't named the elections he believes were interfered with, nor has he clarified what disinformation he believes USAID has spread. This lack of evidence makes it difficult to assess the validity of his accusations. Despite the lack of concrete evidence, Musk's accusations carry weight due to his high profile. His statements have added fuel to the fire surrounding USAID. Many people are now calling for greater transparency from both Musk and the agency. Former President Donald Trump has also been a long-standing critic of USAID. His views on foreign aid have been a significant part of his political rhetoric, often sparking debates and discussions among policymakers and the public alike. Trump's criticism stems from his skepticism about foreign aid in general. He questions the effectiveness and efficiency of the aid provided, arguing that it often fails to reach those who need it most. He believes that the U.S. spends too much money on helping other countries, money that could be better spent addressing issues within the United States. This perspective resonates with many of his supporters, who feel that domestic issues should take precedence. He argues that this money should be used domestically instead. For instance, he has pointed out the need for improved infrastructure, better healthcare, and enhanced education systems within the U.S. Trump's stance on foreign aid is not new. It has been a consistent theme throughout his political career from his early days as a businessman to his tenure as president. He has consistently voiced this opinion throughout his time in the public eye. His speeches and public statements often highlight his belief that the U.S. should focus on its own citizens first. His views on foreign aid align with his America First philosophy. This approach advocates for prioritizing American interests and reducing international commitments that do not directly benefit the U.S. He believes that the U.S. should prioritize its own interests above all else. This includes ensuring that American workers and families are supported, and that the country's resources are used to benefit its own people. While Trump's criticisms are not directly related to the D.C. office closure, they add to the growing scrutiny surrounding USAID. His comments have fueled discussions about the agency's role and the effectiveness of its programs. His comments reflect a larger debate about the role and effectiveness of foreign aid in U.S. foreign policy. This debate continues to shape opinions and policies, influencing how the U.S. engages with the rest of the world. Section 5. A matter of timing, coincidence, or connection. The closure of USAID's D.C. office on the same day that Musk and Trump escalated their attacks is certainly noteworthy. This timing raises questions about whether there is a connection between these events. Is the closure a direct result of their criticisms, or is it just a coincidence? It's important to remember that correlation does not equal causation. Just because two events happen close together doesn't mean that one caused the other. There could be other factors at play that we are not aware of. However, the timing is hard to ignore. It has fueled speculation and raised suspicions. Many people are now calling for a thorough investigation into the matter. Section 6. Unanswered questions, seeking clarity and evidence. The closure of USAID's D.C. office has left us with more questions than answers. Why was the decision made to close the office? Was it related to the criticisms from Musk and Trump? Or were there other factors involved? At this point, we simply don't have enough information to draw any definitive conclusions. We need more transparency from both USAID and the government. We also need to carefully examine the evidence and separate fact from speculation. Until we have more information, it's important to avoid jumping to conclusions. We should approach this situation with a critical eye and demand clear answers from those in charge. Section 7. Expert opinions, navigating the uncertain terrain. Experts in foreign policy and international development are divided in their opinions about the closure of USAID's D.C. office. This decision has sparked a significant debate among scholars, policymakers, and practitioners alike. The closure is seen by some as a strategic move, while others view it as a potential misstep in the broader context of international relations. Some believe that it's a sign of a worrying shift in U.S. foreign policy. They argue that this move could indicate a broader trend of isolationism, where the U.S. might be stepping back from its traditional role as a global leader. This perspective is particularly concerning to those who have long advocated for a robust American presence in international development and humanitarian aid. They fear that it could signal a retreat from global engagement and a weakening of U.S. leadership on the world stage. The symbolic nature of closing such a prominent office in the nation's capital cannot be understated. It sends a message, intentional or not, about the current administration's priorities and its commitment to global partnerships. Others are more cautious in their assessment. They suggest that while the closure is significant, it does not necessarily herald a complete withdrawal from international responsibilities. These experts emphasize the need to look at the broader picture and consider other ongoing initiatives and commitments by the U.S. government. They argue that it's too early to say what the long-term impact of the closure will be. The true effects of this decision will unfold over time, and it is essential to monitor the situation closely. These experts call for a measured approach, urging stakeholders to avoid jumping to conclusions without sufficient evidence. They point out that USAID still has a vast network of offices around the world. This extensive presence ensures that the agency can continue its critical work in various regions, providing aid and support where it is most needed. The global network of USAID offices remains a cornerstone of U.S. foreign aid strategy, and that the closure of the D.C. office does not necessarily mean a reduction in aid. The operational capabilities of USAID are still intact, and the agency's mission to promote global development and humanitarian assistance continues unabated. The focus, they argue, should be on how effectively these resources are being utilized on the ground. It's important to consider the perspectives of different experts and weigh the evidence carefully. The diversity of opinions highlights the complexity of the issue and the need for a nuanced understanding. Engaging with a range of viewpoints can provide a more comprehensive picture of the potential implications. This is a complex issue with far-reaching implications, affecting not just U.S. foreign policy but also global development efforts. The interconnected nature of today's world means that decisions made in Washington can have ripple effects across the globe, and it requires thoughtful analysis and discussion. As we navigate this uncertain terrain, it is crucial to remain informed and engaged, considering all angles and potential outcomes. Only through careful deliberation can we hope to understand the true impact of such significant policy decisions. Section 8. The need for transparency. A call for openness. The closure of USAID's DC office underscores the importance of transparency and accountability in government. When decisions are made behind closed doors, it breeds suspicion and mistrust. It also makes it difficult to hold those in power accountable for their actions. The American people deserve to know why this decision was made and what impact it will have on U.S. foreign policy. We need a full and transparent accounting of the situation. Only through open and honest dialogue can we hope to restore trust and ensure that our government is acting in the best interests of the people. Section 9. Moving forward. Seeking truth and understanding. The closure of USAID's DC office is a significant event that raises important questions about the future of U.S. foreign policy. It's crucial that we approach this situation with a critical eye and demand answers from those in charge. We must resist the urge to jump to conclusions or accept easy explanations. Instead, we need to engage in thoughtful dialogue, seek out reliable information, and hold our leaders accountable. By working together, we can navigate this uncertain terrain and strive for a more just and equitable world.